Hello.
Hello. How have you been?
Good. I feel like we didn't record last week. I feel like I haven't seen you because for a while we were recording like twice a week.
Mm-hmm.
And now we are recording like once a week, maybe,
It's like
just
summer.
because summer is busy. Um, so I feel like I haven't seen you.
Yeah, no, it's been a hot minute. I mean, I've still talked to you, but it's not like this. It's not like giving you all my updates.
Yeah.
Ugh, but we have a cat attitude problem, and I am about done with it. This cat is about to become a barn cat, whether she likes it or not.
Which one?
Sophia. She is doing that thing where she poops again
Oh
on my
no.
floor.
Hmm.
And so I had switched from regular litter to the pellets because the litter that we were using was super dusty, super smelly. Like I couldn't do it. And so we went to the pellets because it masks the smell and it's like not as messy and it's cheaper. And I guess she had an attitude about that. And I did change her treats, so I'm sure she had an attitude about that too. So I didn't realize it because Austin's parents were here, but it was like right after they left, I started to smell like funky stuff when I came downstairs and I found 3 spots in my office. So that was like 3 days because she really only
Oh.
goes like once a day. And then I had cleaned that up and I cleaned out the litter, whatever. I didn't change it yet, but the next day, I think it was like a weekend day, I had woken up and made Axel breakfast. We were hanging out. I put him down for a nap and she pooped in my bathroom, like on the floor in my bathroom, and then like rubbed it in the tub too.
Ew.
So I'm like grossed out. I'm so mad. And I come downstairs and she pooped in my office again too. So then I lost it. I placed an order on Target. I ordered 4 brand new litter boxes, brand new litter. I'm just like, I'm over this. You little attitude. I was like, and this doesn't if this doesn't work, I might lose my mind on her.
I've had some issues where the cats have pooped outside the box, but it's generally like right outside the box.
Yeah. No, we've had
So
that too. And it's
yeah, so they
rare.
haven't like done it in other rooms. So that's like she's just like, this looks good.
Yeah, like she's pissed at me, so that's what she's doing. And then I get the Target pickup and the guy's like, "Man, you got lots of litter." And I'm like, "I had a moment with my cats this morning." So
Yeah, I would love to try the pellets, but I don't think my cats would be about it. We actually use like a special cat litter. So it is the sand and it is like dusty. It's not my favorite. I hate it. It gets everywhere. But it has some type of enzyme in it that like attracts them to it because Bean did have that issue where he was peeing outside the box and
mm,
it was behavioral. I mean, he's on medication for anxiety because he will pee if we don't have him on the medication, but the litter seems to help a little bit. But yeah, they can be very specific. Like Rob does all the poop stuff and he's done it since I was pregnant with Eleanor, but he'll like scoop throughout the week and then change it once a week. But if for some reason he like misses anything, and I mean they have 3 for the 2 cats, but if he misses anything, they'll like poop outside the box. I'm like, how is that better? I don't understand. But they get very specific.
I feel like they would do it more with the pine litter, or the horse pellets that we had because
Mm,
they were like cuz it like the poop sits on top of the litter, so they would try to go
yeah.
around it and then like their butt would be sticking outside of the box, you know?
Yep.
But
I
these
thought
ones
you
that I
used pellets for a while. Or
I did. I used them for a really long time, and then we went to regular litter because she had an attitude, and then
oh.
she didn't have an attitude, so I went back to the pellets, and then she got another attitude, and I went back, and then couldn't stand the
Could
smell and the
you
dust.
could you leave like cuz I know you have a lot of boxes. Could you only do like a few with the actual sand and then the other ones with the pellets?
We've done that too, and they prefer the ones that aren't pellets. Like they
Oh,
prefer
so
the
they'll all
extra
try
litter.
to.
Yeah. And then
Gotcha.
it's
Yeah.
dirty and nasty and yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So long story short, we're trying this. I have a fifth box somewhere and I need to find it, but I didn't want to order too many when I know I already have another one at home.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's been fun.
Fun. We love our animals, but they can be something, can't they?
Yeah, like I don't know. She's just the attitude. Like literally nothing is wrong with her. We've had so many tests done with her and we've taken her to the vet so many times. So I'm not abandoning my cat. She just has an attitude.
Mhm. That's how we
So,
feel about Bean because we have to take him. We've taken, honestly, in the past year, we've probably taken him like 6 times to the vet for his whole stomach issues, and we
yeah.
still, like, don't know. We don't know if it's, like, the pica that's causing him to just eat stuff, but we kinda think that he has, like, stomach issues in general, and that's what kicks off the pica, like, his stomach already hurt, so he's trying to, like, eat plastic, but we haven't gotten any answers, and it's, like, scary. I'm like, "Bean, you're gonna kill yourself doing this."
Mhm. Yeah, no, it is scary. And then I am just exhausted because last night well, this has been happening a couple of nights and it's not normal for Axel, but for some reason I think it's because he's eating dinner so late sometimes. Well, he didn't really even eat dinner late yesterday. Maybe he ate too much dinner so he didn't want any of his milk. So there's been two nights where he doesn't want to drink his milk at night. And then he will start crying 2 hours after he went to bed. And I would go in there and I thought like he wasn't even like awake. He was just laying on his side. So I thought I could just give him like his giraffe and, put him back. And as soon as I got back to the door, he was screaming bloody murder again. I'm like, okay. And so then finally I pick him up and he calms down and he just looks at me and he goes, eat, 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 eat,
Oh
eat,
my
eat. And I was
goodness.
like, okay. I was like, okay, we'll get the milk. And so then he signs milk the entire time we're going to get the milk. And I take the milk out, I pour it in a glass, I put it in the microwave, and then I put the milk back in the fridge. Well, as I put the milk back in the fridge, he screams even louder because he thinks I'm taking the milk away.
Oh, no. Please.
And I'm like, you need to be quiet. Dad's sleeping, whatever. So then last night, I finally get him the milk. We get in there, I lay him down. And I think he was still like half asleep because he would not put the sippy cup in his mouth. He would put like he every time I would try to put it in his mouth because he had it in his hand, he thought I was
Yeah.
trying to take it out of his hand, and if I put it in his mouth, he thought I was trying to put his pacifier in his mouth, so he was pissed off because he wanted his milk. And I'm like, "No, no, buddy." Like, so then I hold him and I'm just like slowly trying to inch the bottle into his mouth so he can drink it, and he's just screaming even louder. Finally, he realizes, "Oh, it's my sippy cup, not my pacifier. I'm gonna drink it
Oh my
now."
gosh.
Just like, what in the world? So yeah, that's been our life.
That's hard because, like, how you can't, like, force him to drink the milk before he goes to bed.
Yeah, no, I don't wanna be shoving it down your throat, but also,
Yeah.
like, I don't know if he's just been too tired where he just, like, takes a few sips and goes to bed, or if he just really is full and doesn't want it.
Because you guys give it to him in his bed, right? So he'll, like, fall asleep drinking it or something?
Yeah, if you try to hold him, he'll, like, try to play and stop drinking his bottle
Mhm.
or the sippy cup,
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah. So we just put him down, put him in, say
Mhm.
our little good night, and he goes to bed. So yeah,
Axel, 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 gotta drink your milk, buddy.
yeah. So that's been fun.
Yeah, I
What's
mean,
going
I'm
on with you?
tired. I'm tired. I'm, like, literally dying every single day. Like, I remember being tired when I was pregnant with Eleanor, and I remember the difference was, right? Like, I didn't have any kids. Like,
Mhm.
I just was able to relax after work, go to bed really early, and now I'm like on much longer. I do try to like lay down if I can most days for a little bit, or else I like can't function. And I'm starting to have like the crazy vivid dreams. Do you remember those?
Yes. Yes, mine were crazy.
Yeah, and then you wake up and like I don't know. I was like last night I had this dream that there was a guy driving that had like a heart attack and he like rode through one of my neighbors' houses. So I was like running over there trying to help them, but at the same time there was a reality show um like a bachelor type of show. It wasn't bachelor, but it was something like that being filmed at my house. And so all this was like and so I literally woke up at my alarm this morning and I'm like, what is happening?
Oh,
So that's going on. But This past weekend, we went. So Rob's aunt has some cabins up north, and so there's like two on the same property. So Rob's parents stayed in one, and we stayed in another, and it was a lot of fun. It was just, I think Rob's parents aren't used to moving at like baby pace, so by the time we get out of the house, we got to go see like the lighthouse and hang out by the beach, and then we needed to eat lunch because Eleanor was starving, and then after lunch we're like, well, she's got to lay down. So then you
Mhm.
lay down, and then you wake up, and then it's like we could do so it's just toddler timing can be difficult, and she also had a rough time. So this was like the first trip where Eleanor really gave us an issue, like trying to get her down at night. So like the first night we were there, we had her pack and play, and normally, like at home, all we have to do is, Eleanor will have her milk, we'll do her whole bedtime routine. I start carrying her up to go to bed. She says goodnight to her dad, and I lay her down.
Mhm.
And then we say goodnight, and I leave, and Eleanor will fall asleep on her own. Like, she's always been really good about that. And so when we were there, we try to do the same thing. We like put her down in the pack and play, and then she's just screaming bloody murder. And now the thing, like we do, the thing, like we don't have a lot in our back pocket to like get her to go down in these cases because she just goes down on her own, like
Mhm.
in most cases, and we're not going to just like leave her there crying. So then I'm trying to like put her in bed with me, and I'm like, let's lay down. But now she's like so excited because she's in bed with mom. And, like finally I got her to fall asleep next to me, and then I moved her into the pack and play. And
Mm.
then the next night, Rob was able to get her down. Like, he just sat and talked with her for a while, and he was able to get her down. But, like, yeah, it's just like one of those skill sets we don't have with her necessarily because she's always been such a good sleeper. Like, even if she woke up in the middle of the night, we would just like give her a passy and she would go to sleep. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
um, it's it was something we literally, I think she was going to bed late already because by the time we got to the cabin, it was much later than we expected. And so I think we were getting her down around 9 and like didn't actually get her down until like 10:30 that night. So then
Mm.
she was all thrown off the next day. But
Yeah.
yeah, but overall being at the cabin, it was a lot of fun. Just getting her down in these unfamiliar places is just a bit more challenging than normal.
Did she have, like, her own, like, space or room? Or was she, like, in
No,
your room?
we put her in the room with us,
Okay.
but Rob and I weren't like going to bed at the same time as her. But
Yeah,
yeah,
'cause
we put her in the same room.
I noticed when we did that with Axel, so when we went to Vegas and we had him in the same hotel room and when we tried to put him in the pack and play, he was not having that. And so he slept with us, like, the 2, 3 nights we were there, whatever.
Yeah.
That was at the point where he couldn't, like, crawl off the bed, so that was perfect. Um,
Yeah.
but when we went to Florida and he can crawl and move around, we had, like, a walk-in closet, and we would put him in there with the door closed and the lights off and, like, his sound machine
Mm,
because I noticed, like, if he's in the same room as us or he's out in the open instead of in, like, his own little space, then he seems to get more like, "I wanna be a part of what's going on."
yeah. Luckily, it was like there was a door, so we closed the door. So she wasn't like in our vicinity when we were putting her to bed. Yeah, I don't know. She's just so used to her own space, her
Yeah.
own bed. But last night I put her down, no problem. Boop, right in her bed. I'm like, you happy to be in your bed? I am too.
We're all happy to be in our bed.
uh, I love my own bed.
Oh, yes.
Okay, well, welcome everybody to the Mom Era podcast. My name is Megan.
And I'm Alyssa.
And today we are discussing a crucial topic now that it's summer, and that is summer safety for our little ones.
Yeah, so ensuring a safe and enjoyable summer is top priority. We wanted to share some essential tips, personal experiences, and keeping our toddlers safe and happy during the sunny season.
Yeah, so we have some summer safety tips that we just want to go over, and we can talk about our perspectives and our experience with each of them. The first I want to touch on here is sun protection. So, what I found is best is dressing your child in a lightweight, long sleeve clothing, using a wide brimmed hat, sunglasses, and then use broad spectrum sunscreen with an SPF 30 or higher. We usually use 50 on exposed skin and then reapply every 1 to 2 hours after swimming or if they've been sweating. What sunscreen do you use?
Ooh, I recently bought it too. It is. I bought it before Florida. It's really, it's like a mineral sunscreen, but it goes on really heavy. It's,
Yeah, does it have that zinc in it where it's like thick?
yeah. Oh, it's the Earth Mama.
Earth Mama, that's one. Oh, wait, no, that isn't the one we use. I used their nipple cream for a while, and we also have a
Yeah, yeah,
diaper
I did theirs
cream.
too. Yeah, it came with like a face stick and then like a thing for lotion. So,
Do you have an issue putting sunscreen on his face?
mm-mm.
No. Eleanor hates,
I mean,
hates,
he
hates,
doesn't
hates the
love it,
face.
but he's not like screaming and pushing me away.
Yeah, she's been better lately, but she would push us away. And so for a minute there, I was using a makeup brush and using
Oh,
that to put it on her
that's a good idea.
face. Yeah, which worked for a little bit, but then she got irritated of it. The one we use is Baby Ganix.
Oh, the baby Ganex print. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, ours like literally looks like he has like a white mask on his face after I put
Mhm.
it on.
Yeah. Ours
So,
does that too. It's the zinc. It's like super, super thick.
yeah.
I'm curious for boys because I know for Eleanor, a lot of the swimsuits that I buy are long sleeve.
Mhm.
Like, what is the boys' swimsuits
Well,
like?
most of them are like shorts, but they have the long sleeve shirt. So I always
Mm,
get the long sleeve shirt and then the shorts,
yeah,
and then really the only thing that's exposed is his face and his legs.
yeah.
So,
Is he good at wearing a hat?
oh yeah, he has this like blue Nike hat. He doesn't like the sun hat looking ones cuz I feel like he can feel them on his ears, maybe that's why,
Yeah,
but yeah, he wears his little blue hat. He'll keep sunglasses on too.
that's
Um
good.
but yeah, then he'll just start trying to put them on like me or Austin.
Yeah. We haven't tried the sunglasses, honestly. I almost bought some, but I haven't. But she's really good at wearing a hat, so we always wear like a nice wide
Sun
brimmed
hat. Yeah.
hat. Yeah.
Yeah, this is one I struggle with. I never remember to put on sunscreen unless we're specifically going out to swim. Like
Hmm.
if we're just walking in the driveway or playing with our cars, I don't put it on him because I think some sun is good for him. But he also has very, very fair skin, and I don't know like where he got it from because it's not me or Austin. But yeah, so I don't know. I haven't had an issue with him burning either yet.
That's
So
good. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. That's an area where I do my best, but it is what it is.
Honestly, probably like once our children have their first major burn, we're gonna be like, "Oh, no, I never want this again." Though
Yeah.
we're pretty diligent about putting sunscreen on her and keeping her covered up. But one thing to note about sunscreen, I know we're talking about summer safety mostly for toddlers, but I know our pediatrician said to not use sunscreen before 6 months. So those
Yeah.
first 6 months, if you're in a sunny place, you gotta be real careful about, exposing your child's skin.
Yeah, because I remember that when we first took him to Florida, we couldn't put any sunscreen on him, so we just always had to be in the shade.
Yeah, I remember carrying an umbrella around. We went to the zoo the one time, and I was, like, carrying her in a body carrier or whatever, and I was, like, holding an umbrella to block the sun.
I had a blanket over his head. Like,
Yeah.
I put, like, that hospital blanket because it was so light, you
Mhm.
know? Yeah.
Yep.
Another summer safety tip is hydration. So ensure your child is staying hydrated. You can do this by offering plenty of water throughout the day, avoiding sugary drinks or excess amounts of fruit juice. I also do this by offering a lot of different fruits during the day. So, like watermelon, if we're
Mhm.
outside a lot, then he'll snack on watermelon or melon or cantaloupe, things like that. I try to offer them those days.
Yeah. I've been trying to do better about bringing water outside with us so
hmm
that she has access to it while we're outside because it's something that I don't always think about, but it's been helpful for us for sure.
So we went outside yesterday for maybe 15 minutes. And I put on like the bubble machine and I brought out his water cup. This is related to the water cup outside. And he does this thing now where he flips the Nook cup upside down and like bends the nipple so then it squirts water out. So he
Oh yeah.
literally just kept doing that to the driveway. I'm like, okay, well, this defeats the purpose of drinking the water outside. So,
Yeah, one thing Eleanor's been doing with water is she'll drink it and then she'll like let it dribble out of her
okay.
mouth. And so then it's like all over her. So like if we have if we give her a water bottle and don't have our eyes on her at all times, like sometimes we'll look at her and she's just like covered in water. I'm like, great.
Oh, that's fun.
So another tip is finding shade. So seeking shade under trees, umbrellas, canopies to reduce that direct sun exposure, especially during peak sun hours, so 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Now, I hate being under direct sunlight also, so this is like my go-to anyways, but it's sometimes hard to do. Like we went to a park yesterday, we went to the beach, and so you're, directly under sun in those circumstances, can't
Mhm.
necessarily find that shade at all times. Yeah, it's good to look for, and it's good for the children's safety to not be exposed a lot of the time. I did see, which is scary, I did see on TikTok where a family was just like outside playing. Now, I think they lived in like Arizona or something, if I remember correctly, but they were just outside playing. And the child had like a heat stroke and ended up passing away. And I'm like, oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, we were out to eat. We sat outside. This was a couple weeks ago, and it was super hot out. I think it was on the 4th of July. And it was just like muggy hot, and Axel's like was getting like his cheeks were getting so red. He was like overheating, and then he was like sitting in people's laps, so like I felt like the body heat was also contributing to it, and he was drinking water, but he was just getting so hot and so fussy. And so there was like probably 3 times that Austin or I had to go sit in the car and like cool him down
Yeah.
and then come back out. So yeah, I
Yeah.
love sitting outside in the summer, but
It's nice when you have ease, like an access to go inside easily. Like when we were camping, it was so hot and humid that day. Like we were all miserable, and it's not like we could go inside the camper because there was air conditioning. I mean, my parents have a pop-up. They don't have like one
yeah.
of those fancy campers, so we were kind of as well. But yeah, Eleanor, I mean, she's like me where if I go outside, even if I'm not feeling like super hot myself, like I'll get red.
Mm.
And so she's like that. So she always gets
That's
really
how
red
Austin
too.
is. He gets like his
Mhm.
cheeks get super red, and so Axel did
Yeah.
the same thing, and I'm like, "Are you hot? Are you okay? Are you having
Yeah, it's like
strokes?"
scary. It's
I
like
saw that same video, and I was like, "Ah."
yeah, I know.
Another one is water safety. So, drowning is the leading cause of death for young children ages 1 to 4. Always supervise your children around water, including pools, lakes, the beach, and water tables. Use appropriate flotation devices and tech water safety rules such as not running near the pool, never swimming alone. Choose bright colors for their bathing suits. Stay away from blues and muted colors so they can be easily spotted in the water. Before I go into more specific details, I have some things to say.
Mhm.
There was this one video I saw, I think it was a TikTok, that especially when you're at like with a group of people at like a party and you're around a pool, like people are always assuming that someone else is watching your child because they're like right
Yeah.
there, right? And I am under the impression that no one is watching my child unless it's me or the person I designated to watch my child. And
Mhm.
so over 4th of July weekend when he was by the pool and I couldn't swim because I had gone through IVF stuff. But Like, I literally felt like the overbearing mom because I was like, "Austin, are you watching? You're not looking.
Mhm.
Austin, this." And I was, like, trying to make sure whoever was watching was like, "Okay, yes, you agreed to watch him." But on this video, I had seen that they had put a lanyard on someone, and every, like, hour they would switch, and that was, like, the designated person, whoever had the lanyard on, to be watching the kids. So I thought that that was really cool.
Yeah, no, that's a good idea. I
So that's
like
like
that.
a good reminder to like who's a designated person.
Mhm. Yeah.
But I also wanted Axel to have the life jacket on if he was going to be in the pool gate at any time.
Mhm.
Because if he's walking around, I don't
He
want him to
falls
just like
in.
slip
Yeah.
in. So yeah, I'm that mom.
I mean, water safety, I feel like, is no joke because, like you said, it's the leading cause of death for young children. And I feel like a lot of times people rely very heavily on the life jackets or whatever it is they're putting their children on and feel like they can kind of trust that to do
Hmm.
what it needs to do. But in reality, you should have your eyes, or somebody should have their eyes on the children at all times if they're in or near water.
Yeah. Even like the bathtub, you can't like walk away
Hmm.
from the bathtub.
Yeah.
Um, but digging a little bit deeper into this one, so there's lots of different flotation devices for children. A good rule of thumb is to see one or find one that is approved by the Coast Guard. Puddle jumpers are very popular. There's some controversy as to whether they're recommended, though, because the devices can put children at risk for drowning because it keeps them in a vertical position and makes it difficult for the children to float on their backs. Whereas, like, a life jacket allows them to float on their backs and keep their head up because they usually have the head thing in the back.
Hmm.
There's a difference between a swim vest and a life jacket. A swim vest will not protect against drowning, so there's a
Yeah, and they
difference.
look the same
Yeah, they look
basically.
the same. And then young children, it is best to hold them in water versus having them on a float device.
Yeah. Or if you have them in type, like, I remember last summer, Eleanor was so young, right? She was in like the Mama Bo, whatever brand that was. I can't remember. It was
Yeah.
popular. But in one of those like floating things, and you always need to have your hands on it at all times.
Yeah. Yeah. We always held Axel this year. Like, so he was in like a floaty device that had a net on the bottom. So he was just like sitting in there, like he would be
Hmm.
sitting in like a bathtub. But it was like, where he could like fall over to the side or fall, so that was like a little sketchy for me, but he was
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah. Yeah. As long as you got your eyes on them. I haven't had Eleanor in any type of like vest on her own yet. But she's just like a sensitive baby, where I just don't know if she's ready for that yet anyways. So anytime I go in a pool with her, we're holding her and kind of like encouraging her to swim and that kind of thing. But yeah.
Yeah.
One thing I want to bring up is the colors of the bathing suit. I always thought this was really interesting because I had never thought of it or heard of it until I became a mom, where you want to put your children in certain colors. Like pink was always really good, yellow was really good. And I remember seeing this image, which maybe we could reshare. I'll find it and we can reshare it on our podcast Instagram. But it was a picture of pool water and then also a lake or an ocean, and how the different colors looked and how you could see them differently based on whatever color swimsuit they were in. Because I'm always like, oh, let's put our kid in the cutest. But in
Yeah.
reality, like the color really is really important.
Yeah. And they're always like the ugly looking bathing suits that are the good colors that you need.
Right. Yeah, I
But yeah,
know.
no, I didn't really know that until I became a mom either. And that became more prevalent to me. But it is true. You're not gonna be able to see them if you're in
Yeah.
like a blue bathing suit.
Hmm. Yep. So the next one is protecting against bugs and insects. So protecting them from insect bites by using bug repellent. So it's always good to check with your pediatrician for safe options. Alyssa, I know you shared one for ticks, I think, that had
Yeah, it's
natural
like a tick
ingredients.
and bug repellent. Yeah.
Hmm. Does it work for mosquitoes too?
I don't know. I'd have to check that.
Mm,
But I don't remember it saying specifically
okay.
mosquitoes.
That was the thing we had an issue with at the cabin, was a bunch of mosquitoes. And I haven't bought any bug repellent yet, and they had some there. and I just didn't feel comfortable using it because it was just like a high chemical bug repellent. So I was like, I gotta look into. So we just tried to avoid them at that
Yeah.
time. But
I hate mosquito spray in general. Like I just really don't like it because I hate the way it like stays on your skin. I hate the smell of it, like whatever. But like I only use it when I like literally have to. And I had like sprayed the bug spray and the tick repellent around the bonfire that we had a couple weeks
hmm.
ago. And I really want to dig into this, but I saw someone post that vanilla extract keeps the mosquitoes
Oh,
away.
interesting.
And I
Yeah.
was like, hmm, because that's like a natural way, but I don't know. I don't know. I have to dig into that more. Come
Yeah.
back to y'all with that. But yeah, I absolutely hate bug spray.
Yeah. I don't like bug spray either. Yeah. I need to look up some ones with more natural type of ingredients, or maybe even, like you said, at home remedies that we could do. If
Hmm.
vanilla works, like,
Yeah,
what
if
the
vanilla works, we
heck?
need to know.
I know.
So if anybody knows, comment and let us know.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you use?
Another one is heat safety. So being mindful of hot surfaces like playground equipment, car seats, and metal objects that can become dangerously hot in the sun. Check the temperature before allowing your child to touch or play on these surfaces. So I know that this is probably prevalent in us in the Midwest just because we have those like metal slides because it
Mm,
does get cold here. And so in the summer, they get like so hot. But in general, I'm always checking, like, if you put them in the swing, if it's too
yep.
hot or things like that. So,
Yeah, we went to a park yesterday and a lot of the equipment there were metal, so I had to like feel it before putting Eleanor on it. The car seat is like a really big issue for us because in our car, which yours might be different since it's a van, so you probably have cooling in the back, right? For Axel?
yeah, but it's not. I mean, he gets so hot in the back, and I just tried to do the fan, and I don't know. I haven't found a happy medium.
I haven't either. And so, I mean, our car is relatively small, so it cools down and she does get air, but like immediately when we put her in and it's so hot, sometimes it worries me. I had looked up something called, what was it, the Noggle?
Is it
I
the
know
thing where it
Gigi.
vents the air to the back?
Yeah, you like put, yeah, it is the Noggle, where it like goes on to like one of the vents and it like pulls it back. And I was like, "Oh, maybe I get one of those." But right now we've just been putting her fan on her in the car, which seems to help, but I wish all cars had air systems in the back seats. I don't know why it
Yeah.
doesn't.
Yeah, he has a vent right above him, but for some reason he's still usually hot because like
Yeah,
it's super intense on me because it's coming out of four vents where for on him it's coming out of one vent.
right.
So I noticed recently like I would turn it down and he'd still be hot. But I figured out how to like have his on like three and mine on one, so that's been working out a lot lately.
That's good. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
The next one is stroller safety. So, if you're using a stroller in the heat, ensure it has proper ventilation and a sunshade. And you never want to leave your child unattended in a stroller, especially in hot weather. That's something I always worried about because we always use the sunshade. But when she was little and we still would put her in her car seat and hook it to the Chico Bravo stroller, and then you'd put the shade over, it felt like it was like insulating her with the
Mhm.
heat.
Mhm.
I feel much better now that she's like sitting in it like a toddler and we have the sunshade over. But at that time, I was like, is she okay in there? Like, I feel like this is a hot box.
I always felt that way too, and my friend wasn't very like there wasn't like a super heavy cover on her stroller, and she always just kind of like it was covered, but like it still had a lot of open fresh air coming in and out. So I feel like that just like I guess calmed me in sense of like always needing to have the shade over his head or whatever,
Yeah.
so he was still exposed just to some sun, but it that ventilation like we just didn't really cover both, if that makes sense
Yeah.
after that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We always used the fan was like the biggest, the stroller fan. That's like one of the best purchases. I didn't even buy one at first. I think you had bought one first
No, I
when we're
just bought
talking.
mine like a couple months
Oh,
ago.
you did? Maybe it was somebody else that I was talking to. But yeah, we've like used that fan religiously.
But like I don't like the idea of it because it dies every little bit, so you have to, like, go back and charge it, and then it's like, okay, then you gotta, like, finagle it in the car or take it off and then finagle. I don't like that, like, I would rather have
Oh.
something that's a lot easier.
Yeah, maybe you could find, like, battery-powered ones or something. We don't really have that issue because we're moving it around all the time. We're like, it's on her, and we can, like,
Yeah.
charge it in the car, but yeah.
I feel like I don't use it enough or move it enough to, like, see a need to, like, have to charge it all the time or have to, like, undo
Yeah.
it and then redo it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Another one is car safety. So never leave your child alone in a parked car, even for a short time. Temperatures inside a parked car can rise quickly and pose a serious risk of heat stroke. So, like, anytime you get in a car, like, especially in the summer, it's super hot. Like, imagine, turning off the car and then you walk inside to do whatever for 15 minutes and then you come back out and get the kid. Like, it's immediately getting super hot in that car, and that's
Mhm.
not safe for your child.
I will never leave her in the car. Like, even if I'm, like, running in somewhere, she's always coming with me. I
Hmm.
mean, I'm just always like, I mean, the heat obviously is, a huge part of that, but, like, I'm just scared to leave her alone. Like, I just would never do that. My mom's car was so your old car used to do the thing, like, every time you turned off the car. Did yours do this
Oh,
where it
yeah,
would
it
say,
tells
"Don't
you
forget to check"
baby in the
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah, "Don't forget
yeah.
to check."
Which is, like, interesting because I can see how people can forget that there's a baby back there, especially if they're sleeping, like,
Mhm.
I mean, obviously, you have your baby with you, but, like, sometimes you're just like, "Go, go, 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 go," and then you're like, "Oh, shoot,
Yeah.
baby's sleeping behind me."
Yeah, it is a nice reminder. Doesn't
Yeah.
hurt. Another consideration is playground safety. So choose playgrounds with age appropriate equipment and safety surfaces, and always supervise your child while they play and check for hazards like sharp edges or broken equipment. I'm finding at Eleanor's age right now, a lot of playground equipment is way over her head for older kids. And so we are primarily using swings, or we'll climb on the playgrounds with her. But I haven't been able to find, honestly, age appropriate equipment where I feel comfortable with her just like doing stuff on her own. I don't know, have you?
No, I mean, really, honestly, that only place was that indoor, like, kids place I found, I think I told you about, and that had, like, a
Yep.
specific toddler area where the everything in there was, like, accessible, and if they, like, fell down the slide, it was, like, cushioned, so there wasn't, like, any,
Yeah.
but nothing, like, externally at a park. Everything I have to be
Yeah.
doing with him.
Yep. I've also noticed, not here, but the last few parks we went to have been pretty run down where there have been like hazards. Like there was a slide yesterday that was like almost completely in half. It was
Where are
like an
you going?
enclosed slide and the whole top half was like ripped off.
Oh my god.
And it was like a really nice playground. It looked like it was being upkept, but like I don't know. I was like, what in the world is going on here?
Yeah, we have a few nice ones by us, like at the school, or the township hall has a really nice one. They have that one where you can, like, swing with your kid.
Yeah, I love those.
Yeah, it's hit or miss, definitely. Lastly, fire safety. So if you're using a grill or a fire pit, keep children at a safe distance and never leave them unattended near open flame. Boy, do I have a story for you.
Ooh.
So over 4th of July, we obviously have a fire pit at my parents' house, and, like, there's chairs, but they're not, like, right next to the fire pit, but it's like a circled in area. And Austin had Axel over there with him, and obviously Axel doesn't want to sit on anyone's lap. He wants to be walking around exploring. For like a split second, I look over there and I see my baby like less than a foot from this like fire pit that's like super
Oh,
tall. And I was like,
yeah.
first of all, like, if he fell, or tripped, which he does all the time, just falls
Uh-huh.
down, while he's walking. And so I immediately ran over there and I was like, we are not playing by the fire pit. And I like grabbed him and like went over and did something else. But like, I totally get like everyone there is watching him. He's within arm's reach. Like, they're like grabbing him if he gets too close, like whatever. But that's just not a chance I'm willing to take, especially with Austin's and I history with
No.
fire. So yeah, that was fun.
But also, you never know, like, especially with a homemade bonfire, you never know if something that was put in there could potentially, like, explode or, just all these things I've seen happen, or when those little embers shoot out, like,
Mhm.
and your child could have bug spray on them, or maybe every single like, clothing that I buy her says flammable, like, everything says
Yeah.
flammable on it, so you don't know, something like that could happen. We haven't had Eleanor around a bonfire, I don't think. I guess camping.
I was gonna say, haven't you done it when you're camping?
Yeah, but last time we went home, not while she's been, like, walking and independent, so we haven't yet.
Like, if they couldn't move, it'd be fine, but yeah.
Right. Mhm. Yeah, you have full control over them. Yeah, and our children are at a point where they're, like, they wanna be very independent. They wanna walk where they wanna walk. They want.
Mhm. They wanna go where they're pointing, and they're gonna go there, whether you want them to or not.
Mhm. Yep. We were speaking of, we were in Meyer yesterday, and Eleanor was so funny. We needed to burn time because our car was charging, but she was running. She kept saying, "Running," and she's, like, running down the aisles so fast, and she just wanted to go where she wanted to go. So we kinda followed her for a little bit to let her burn some energy since we were driving, and it was kind of a long distance, so we wanted her to, like, get that out of her, but it's just so funny. She was just, like, running around the store. I wanna say quote
Just
unquote running
screaming,
because she's
running.
not very fast.
Okay.
Yes. Mm.
Well, at least she's not fast, because 'cause that'd be a lot to keep up with.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's it for our topic today. We hope that these tips helped you just think about summer safety things that you need to be aware of for your children, and some things I think were even like new to me, like new thoughts that I hadn't always thought about, but obviously haven't come in, I guess, contact or haven't happened in my life yet with the baby. So, yeah, just always important to have safety in the summer. But I think we can go into our mom eras. What mom era are you in?
Oh, well, I'm gonna be in my pregnant mom era for a while, and like I said, I'm just so tired being in the first trimester. I feel I'm starting to come out the other side maybe, 'cause what, I'm 11 weeks today? So, I'm hopeful that I'll get some energy back pretty soon here, but
Once you hit the second
that's,
trimester?
like, dominating my life. Yeah.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I would say that we are in our dancing mom era where Eleanor, I think I might have talked about this before, but it's so prevalent now, where Eleanor dancing and singing, because Eleanor will, like, sing. So there's, like, 2 songs that she likes to dance to, and one's called the Dino Dance and one's called the Wiggle Dance, and they're by this guy named Danny Go on YouTube, and so we could also play them, like, on Apple. But there's, like, a dance that goes along with it, and she likes to do the actual moves, but now she's starting to actually, like, sing the part. So, like, in or, like, in one of them, they go, like, "Do, do, do, do." So she'll walk around the house going, "Do, do, 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 do," and, like, doing her dance, and it's just so cute. She's just, like, in this little dancing, singing mode.
Yeah, it's her own little dancing, singing era.
Yep.
Well, we are in our so we have our giraffe, we call him Giraffe, and then we have our pacifier and we call it a bow. That's just what I grew up calling it, so that's what we call it.
Mhm.
We I've been recent like I take it away when he goes to daycare and put it in the backpack so he only has it at nap time, or I take it away during the day and put it in his crib so he only has it at nap and sleep time. Because I just like, yes, I want you to have your lovey and everything, but we don't need to be carrying it around with us all day long. And so now he will go and stand at his crib, and because I purposely put it at the back of the crib so he can't reach it, and he will literally just scream and stomp his feet because he can't reach
Aw.
it until you come in and give it to him. And so I think
Aw.
there's a tooth popping through on the top, so I'm like being a little bit more lenient right now, but I'm realizing that I'm not going to take away the draft, but the pacifier I'm realizing we're a little bit more attached to it now, so I might be thinking about like phasing that out. So yeah,
We're
we always
attached to
have the
ours too.
giraffe. Yeah. So,
We're attached to both. Yeah. The passy, yeah, it's interesting you bring that. I've thought about it with the passy too, but it's such a comfort item for her, especially like during teething. And I'm thinking maybe after 2. My
mhm.
doctor said before 3, because usually that's when after 3 is when it'll affect the teeth. So like for sure by 3, but I've had similar thoughts to you because she seems like so attached to it.
Yeah, I almost feel like cutting the ties now would be better in my opinion because I feel like he's getting so attached to it. I don't want him to be even more attached to it, but he did start teething so late that I feel like it helps from a
Yeah.
comfort perspective with teething. So, I'm kind of in that like I don't know, we haven't talked about it yet fully, but I'm limiting it to only naps and at nighttime or in long car rides because what else do you do? But yeah. And then we have an update on IVF. So I think last time I
Ooh.
shared that we were going through IVF. And so we are doing a fresh transfer. And fresh versus frozen is where you do the egg retrieval and then transfer the embryo 5 days later. Where frozen is like you do the egg retrieval, you freeze them, and then you schedule a later date to transfer the frozen embryo. So we're doing a fresh transfer. We have completed our stimulation medications and we've had our egg retrieval. So we did get a small amount of eggs, but that aligns with our diagnosis. And we are um, basically waiting for transfer day. So, yeah.
Ooh.
So it is lots of movement. It's coming up really quickly. Obviously, we're like hanging on to all hope that this even works and that it goes smoothly. But that's kind of our update. And feel free to reach out in the messages if you have any questions on IVF or anything like that. Happy to talk through. But yeah,
Yeah, well, fingers crossed for you in Austin that the fresh transfer and everything goes well.
I'm hoping so. It went well with Axel, so we'll see.
Fingers and toes crossed.
Okay, well, that is it for the Mom Era podcast this week. Thank you for joining us. Follow us on social media at Mom Era underscore podcast, Instagram and TikTok, or email us at momerapodcast@gmail.com. And we hope you have a good week.
Bye bye.
Bye.